Oh, Your Honor, I am here to try to recoup costs that I've incurred with my daughter.
All right.
She's 9 years old. She's been with me since birth, and I'm paying for everything. I've been doing it all on my own.
All right.
Without a problem, but I've been doing it all on my own.
All right. And when you say all on your own, Dad isn't helping out financially at all?
At all.
Okay. And you said your daughter's 9.
Yes.
Is she involved in any type of extracurricular activities? That word always messes me up.
Yes, ma'am. Basketball, track and field, and tennis.
All right. Does Dad pay for any of those?
No, ma'am.
How much are the fees associated annually with each one of those?
Annually, probably roughly $4,700.
All right. Is Dad aware that she's in these activities?
Yes.
All right. The extracurricular activities, does he attend those?
No, Your Honor.
So he doesn't pay for those?
No.
So what is the backstory? I mean, she's 9. So were you all in a relationship previously? Like what happened?
We were in a situationship for a weekend.
What in the world is that?
Well, it was a little bit more than a one-night stand. It lasted approximately 72 hours. I was on business in Washington, D.C., and he was there for a teacher's conference. I met him at a nightclub.
I need to be careful what I ask.
Well, listen, the night grew long, and things happened within the next 72 hours. I'm sorry.
All right, folks, get ready, because today we're looking at a courtroom case that kicks off with what the woman involved calls a 72-hour situationship. Ms. McKenna is in court asking for child support for her 9-year-old daughter, a child she says she's raised completely on her own. According to her, the man she claims is the father hasn't made a single phone call, paid a visit, or offered any financial help, not once. From day one, she says she's been covering everything: school, sports, clothes, you name it. She speaks calmly but firmly, and the judge doesn't waste a second getting into the heart of the matter. Now, the word situationship might sound a little light, but what's happening here is anything but. This case is about 9 years of silence and zero support. And now, it's time to back everything up, with proof, with facts, and with feelings. This one's going to be complicated.
That's the extent of it.
Okay. And you got pregnant?
Yes.
Okay. Was he involved in the pregnancy?
Well, he was definitely there.
Well, no, throughout your pregnancy.
Oh, throughout? No, ma'am.
Okay. So you've just literally had the baby, no help from him, nothing like that. Did he show up at the hospital?
No, he was late.
Okay. So did you all have a DNA test done?
No.
Does he know he's the father?
He doesn't think that he is, and he's the only Caucasian that I've ever been with, so.
Okay. So that's where the issue lies then. He doesn't believe he's the father, which is why he hasn't given you any money.
But he sent text messages, and he sent happy birthdays, things of that nature. How is she doing? So I believe if he didn't care at all, he wouldn't send those text messages. Now, he's done that for the past 9 years. I've just never seen any greenbacks to follow those texts.
Okay. So when he arrived at the hospital, did he sign the acknowledgement of paternity?
No, Your Honor. When I meant he was late, the baby was already a week old at the time. I was already at home. We'd left the hospital. That's what I mean by late.
Oh, so he didn't show up at the hospital at all?
No, Your Honor.
So he didn't sign the birth certificate or any acknowledgement of paternity or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
This is where things start to get heavier. Ms. McKenna shares that she gave birth alone. He wasn't at the hospital, and he hasn't been involved since. She raised their daughter entirely by herself. By the time he finally showed up, the baby was already a week old. And even then, he didn't sign the birth certificate. You can feel the emotion building as she talks. What really stings, she says, is that even though he's been absent all these years, he still sends a birthday text every year. To her, that just feels like a slap in the face. He hasn't taken a DNA test and says he doesn't believe the child is his. But McKenna is sure. She says he's the only white man she's ever been with. The judge is clearly paying close attention, picking up on all the tension in the room. Doubt is in the air, but so is conviction. And this case, it's just getting started.
So you're here today to do what exactly?
Well, I was hoping you would be able to help me, first and foremost, establish paternity.
Okay.
At this point.
All right.
And
we would definitely have to do that before any child support takes place.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right. Is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to him?
No, that's pretty much it. I've just been doing everything on my own. In my heart of hearts, I know that he is the father. I have no doubt. I'm just needing assistance.
Okay. All right. All right. Sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is what she's saying. Now, let me be clear in my questions because I just realized that I probably shouldn't have asked that question like that. Now, bypass all the 72-hour stuff that she talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, she's pregnant.
She was.
Okay, you were not involved in that process at all in terms of the pregnancy.
Look, let me just start off by saying that most of what she said is essentially true. Okay. Although there's some giant omissions in there and some things that you need to take into account to get the full picture.
Well, does it involve the 72-hour thing?
We were involved approximately that amount of time. Yes, okay. That sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't want to know any specific details about that.
Now the legal side of things comes into play. Ms. McKenna isn't just sharing her story anymore, she's asking the court to officially establish paternity. She doesn't want talk, she wants action. The judge is clear, child support can't be ordered without solid proof, and that means a DNA test has to be done. But then, there's a shift. McKenna says without hesitation, she knows he's the father. No doubt in her heart. This moment feels bigger than money. It's about truth, responsibility, and being seen. Her emotional plea has now turned into a formal legal request, and that change brings a new level of seriousness to the room. The judge stays steady and says everything will be on hold until the DNA results are in. But even now, you can feel it. Once those results come back, things could get intense.
I'm not here to give you the details of it. I'm just here to tell you that we were in an intimate relationship, on and off for about 72 hours, yes.
Okay. So, after you found out she was pregnant, what happened?
Well, first let me add some context to everything before I answer that, Your Honor. She works for the federal government. I'm a teacher. I'm a high school teacher. She makes significantly more money than I do. I make about $60,000 a year. I don't know the exact figure of her annual income, but I know it's a lot more than that. She's in far better position to support her daughter than I would be, and what she's asking for.
You said her daughter, so you truly don't believe this is your child?
I am willing to accept that it may be, but we've not done a DNA test. What she said about being only with one Caucasian man, I have no way of knowing if that's true. She's lied before to me. So don't take, she was honest with a lot of the stuff she said fairly, but here's a big thing she forgot to mention. I have a son of my own. I have a newborn son, and with my fiance.
Congratulations.
What does that have to do with this?
I allowed you the opportunity to speak. This is his time. Yes, now, I asked you, was there anything else you needed me to know before I moved over to him?
I already know he's going to push my buttons.
Okay, well, just sit there and don't let him push your buttons. Okay. That's easy, right?
Yes.
Okay, you can do that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead.
So I have a newborn son with my fiance, and I know that he's my son for sure. And I know, and
how do you know for sure?
Because he's white.
Ma'am.
Now it's the alleged father's turn to speak, and right away, his tone changes the mood in the room. He admits to the brief 72-hour fling, but then quickly shifts the focus to money. He claims McKenna earns way more than he does and suggests she doesn't even need his support. That's his first dig. Then, he takes a more calculated approach. He says he's open to the idea that the child could be his, but admits he has doubts, pointing out that she's lied to him in the past. And then comes the twist. He reveals he just had a baby boy with his new fiancée. That son, he says, is definitely his, because the baby is white. That's the moment everything snaps. You can see it in McKenna's expression and feel it ripple through the courtroom. This case is no longer just about money. It's deeply personal now. It's layered, emotional, and on the edge of boiling over.
Because the woman who gave birth to him has been with me and only me for the past 3 years now. That's how I know that he is my son. And he does, despite being a newborn, having a little newborn face, he does look like me. I can tell. So, but anyway, what she's asking for, she does not need financial compensation from me to support possibly our daughter. And the other factor she didn't take into consideration.
Wait a minute. Did I hear that right? Let me rewind.
Yeah, he said need.
I'm
sorry.
Let me rewind that. You said she does not need money from you. So let me make sure I got that right.
Because she makes so much more than me.
Right. So even if it is your child,
right,
she still doesn't need to get money from you?
In my opinion, this is what she's doing here right now has nothing to do with needing money. It has to do with jealousy. She's trying to interfere with my relationship with my new son and my fiance.
Baby, I care less about that, okay? Two things for certain, one for sure. I care less about that.
Excuse me. I thought we weren't going to allow him to push your buttons.
I left one button out.
I've got buttons.
I've gathered all my buttons, and you ain't gonna push.
Well,
I've got a whole control panel.
Okay, nobody asked you that.
The only person that's going to be
childish.
Excuse me. The only person that's going to be pressing buttons up here is me.
I'm trying not to press his head.
Well, we're definitely not going to do that because then the bailiff will have to escort you out, and then I'll more than likely dismiss your case. So that wouldn't be a good thing, right? Ultimately, the both of you are here for one thing. You all want to find out if he is indeed the father of your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Seems like a weird place to do that. I don't see a DNA kit anywhere nearby.
Oh, now you're challenging her.
We do that in a different area.
Stupid.
We have, okay. Excuse me, that wasn't very nice.
Well, it wasn't nice for him to dish your courtroom either. I'm just saying.
No disrespect to your court, ma'am.
This part of the hearing is straight up explosive. The man keeps pushing, now accusing Ms. McKenna of dragging him into court out of jealousy. He claims she's just trying to mess with his new relationship and family. McKenna fires back, clearly upset, and the judge has to step in quickly to cool things down. It's a clash of egos, plain and simple. That's when the judge lays it out. This case isn't about old feelings, pride, or new partners. It's about the child, nothing else. Still, McKenna, clearly triggered, throws out a sarcastic comment, and the judge gives her a firm warning. The tension is thick, the emotions are raw, and the whole room feels on edge. But the judge doesn't waver. They make it clear, this is a courtroom, not a stage. And the only thing that matters here is what's best for the child.
I don't take offense to that because I don't sit up and let people push my buttons often. All right. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to reset this pending DNA results. Now, if for any reason the child does come back, the DNA test does come back and you are the father, you will have to start paying child support being ordered today. All right.
Can I respond to that, Judge, if I may? We were in what amounted to a long one-night stand. We never committed ourselves to each other. I wasn't even aware that she gave birth until like a week after it happened.
Lies.
No, I was never told.
Excuse me, Miss McKinney.
Yes, Your Honor. It's the lies.
It's the buttons. Woosah. Okay. Now, to your point, I was looking here through this Texas Family Code looking for where it says that you have to be in a relationship with somebody to not have to pay child support, and it doesn't exist.
Well, she never, said I was under the impression from what I remember that she was on birth control. Now that may be my faulty memory, but I never entered into this relationship with any intention.
Even still, let's just be clear. Birth control or not, a 9-year-old child is here. These are the facts. A 9-year-old child is here who deserves support, not only from her mother, but from her potential father as well. So we are going to reset this matter, get some DNA testing done. So to my original thought, if you are the father, you will start paying child support being ordered as of today. All right. If he is not the father, you can come back to court and petition as many people. Now, don't take that offensive. I'm not saying that you just been with everybody or anything like that, but you can come back and petition as many people as necessary, because this child, as I just stated, deserves to have the support from not only her mother, but from her potential father as well. So, do you all have any questions about what you're going to do?
No, Your Honor.
No.
No? Okay. And you have to make your daughter available for testing as well.
She's available.
Okay.
She's here.
Okay. So we can go ahead and get that taken care of today.
Oh, yes, we could.
Okay. So we'll reset y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the final moments, everything comes to a head. The man mocks the courtroom, saying it's a strange place to figure out paternity. The judge wastes no time snapping back. She reminds him that this is exactly where facts and responsibilities get settled. He tries to explain, saying he thought she was on birth control, but the judge isn't buying it. She calmly shifts to the law, saying, nowhere in the family code does it say you must be in a relationship or that birth control affects your responsibility. A child exists. That's what matters. Then, the judge delivers the ruling. The case will be put on hold until the DNA results come in. If he's the father, child support begins right away. If not, McKenna can seek support from someone else. It's a clear decision, based on what's right, not on emotions. The judge makes it clear, what matters most here are the needs of the child, and that's non-negotiable.